Hello and welcome to our digital skills lesson. My name is Treasure Sabs, and today we are going to be looking at how to create PowerPoint slides for presentation. Today I'm going to be using the Microsoft Office 2019. So the first thing you want to do is to open your PowerPoint. When you open up the PowerPoint on your computer, this is the screen that should come up if you're using the same PowerPoint as me. My computer has the Windows 10 installed on it and this Microsoft Office 2019 version. So when it opens up, on the left side, you see Home, New, Open. And on top here, you can see like shortcuts to different templates that you have. Depending on the kind of presentation you want to create, there are templates that Microsoft has. These are some of the different templates that you can use, and you can find a lot more on the Microsoft website, where you can see more themes that you can use for your PowerPoint presentation slides. Now, if you choose this geometric color block or this urban monochrome or earthy inspiration, the templates of some of these are fixed. You'll be able to change the text, you'll be able to change the content in this slide, but sometimes because they are fixed, you are limited by how much you can design, how you can change the color scheme. So when I'm starting a new presentation, I like to start from the blank presentation so that I have the flexibility to choose my own theme, to choose my own design, put in my own colors and all that. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So you want to either click on this blank presentation or select New on the left-hand side menu here. So when you click on New, blank presentation, it will open up to this page. This is usually the cover slide. This is the first page of your slide on your presentation. And this particular slide is used to give your presentation a title. This is the first thing people will see when you're showing up your presentation slides. And then on the left side of the screen, you can see where you see slide 1. These are where you're going to be having all your slides stored so that you have easy access to slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. And in the bigger screen here in the middle is, it shows the slide that you're currently working on. Right now, we only have one slide. So we want to create many more slides because we may have like 10 slides for our presentation. So you need to create a lot more. Then on top here, you can see the different menu that you will be using when you are creating your content and populating your slides. Here you have File. If you click on File, it gives you the ability to save as, open a new slide, print, share, export. And then if you go to Insert, that is where you can insert the different elements into your slides. You can see Insert a table here, insert screenshot, photo album, shapes. It says you can insert text box, word art, date and time. You can even insert video and audio into your slide. If you click on each of this menu, is going to give you different options in their drop-down menu that you can select from. So the first thing we want to do is to create additional slides. We don't just want to work with just one slide here. So to create additional slide, you just go, you click the space that is under slide 1. As you can see that a red line appears there. When a red line appears, what it shows is that whatever you do, whatever you create, or whatever you duplicate is going to be showing where that red line is. So we want to create a new slide. On that red line, you want to right click. When you right click, you will see the option of new slide or add section. So you want to select new slide. As you can see, it's giving you the second slide. There is a difference between the first slide and the rest of the slides. And the difference is, on the second slide, where we are right now, you can see two boxes. The first one says, click to add title. And the second one says, click to add text. So whatever content you want to put on this slide, the first box is giving you the opportunity to name the slide. For instance, we may want to give it objective of our presentation. Okay, and then the second box gives you the opportunity to then list the objectives. So we can have something like how to open a new PowerPoint slide. The second objective, when you finish writing the first sentence, click on enter and it will go to the next line. So another objective could be how to design your presentation slides. The third objective could be how to save your presentation slide. Okay, and you can have as many objectives as possible. Now, let's go back to the first slide, slide number one. Slide number one also have two sections. The first one says, click to add title. The second one says, click to add subtitle. Like I explained earlier, the first slide is always the cover slide, like a cover page of your presentation slide, okay? So we can name that how to create PowerPoint slides, and then the subtitle could be for presentation or something of that nature. Now, to make this smaller, because right now the font size of this sentence here is 60. You may want to reduce the font size so that you can have everything on one single line. To do that, you want to select all, to click on that box. Now you see that a box is right here, boxing that first section. Click on the line of that box. That means it has captured everything within that box. And then go to the font size up here in the menu, and then change the font size. We could change it to 50. Now I've changed it to 50, and then it's reduced the size. You could also want to format it, make it bold. Again, you go to the top menu here and select bold, because it's a cover page. And the subtitle as well, maybe you want to put it on bold or put it on Italy, whatever you want to do to it. So you have something like this as the basic cover of your presentation slide. Okay, let's move on. We want to duplicate the second slide. To do that, I am going to place my cursor on the second slide or whatever slide you want to duplicate. In this case, we want to duplicate the second slide and have about 6 more slides. So I'll put my cursor on the second slide, make sure it's highlighted, and then I'll press Ctrl+C on my keyboard to copy. Then go to the line, the space below slide 2, which shows red, and click Ctrl+V to paste. As you can see, I have duplicated slide 2. Now I have the same content that I have in slide 2 in slide 3. But again, I want the content of slide 3 to be different, and I want the content of all the different slides. I want to create 6 more slides. I want the content to be different. So I'm going to delete what I have in slide 3. So I will select everything and then delete. All right. Now my slide 3 is blank. Now I can duplicate that in 3 more times. 3 more times. I can copy and paste in 3 more times. So to copy and paste, again, I'm going to click on slide 3 because that is a slide that I want to duplicate or multiply. Click on 3 and press Ctrl+C on your keyboard Then go to the space below 3 again, and then click Control V. We have the fourth slide, again Control V, again Control V. You can keep pressing Control V for as many times as you want to create many slides that you want to have in your presentation slide. Okay? Now, for our third slide, we already have some content on our first slide. The second slide also have some contents. The third slide, you want to, maybe you would want to insert a table in your third slide. Now I'm going to show you how to insert a table. If you look in the screen, the slide 3 carefully, here in the middle, you can see some elements in the middle here. The first one says insert table. The second one says insert chart. Then you have insert a smart arc graphic, 3D models, insert pictures, online pictures, insert video, insert an icon. So you can either select insert table here, or you go to the menu and click on insert, and then you see table right on the left. If you click on the arrow just below that, it will give you the option of selecting how many columns you want your table to have, how many rows you want your table to have. In this case, we want our table to have 3 columns and 3 rows, okay? So you drag your cursor over, you're not pressing, you're just dragging your cursor over it until you have 3 columns, and then you drag the cursor below down to select the rows. So we want to have 3 columns and 3 rows. So that is one option to do to create your table. As you can see in the screen here, you can see 1, 2, 3 columns. And then you can give that a title as well. So we can say table of contents. Yeah, I'm just making up the content as I go along. Your own content may be different, but this is just an example of what you want to name this particular slide. Now, I've shown you how to insert your table using the menu. I will delete that and then show you the second way you can do that. I explained earlier about the elements in the middle of your slide. If you select insert table in this element, it will give you the option of entering how many columns you want. So in that box there, you can select 3 columns, and then in the number of rows, you choose number of rows and you click on OK. Again, it will give you the table. Now you want to populate your table. So let's say the first row in my first column, I want to say name. And how you populate is just to click on the column, and then it will you start typing whatever you want to put in there. And then in the second column, we want to maybe have age. And in the last column, maybe we want to have place of birth, something of that nature. Again, your own content will be different. So if we want to continue to populate it, on the second row, we might have Joshua as a name. Age could be 34. Place of birth could be Manchester. And then the third row could be Abigail, Ajayi. Age could be 46 or 54. And place of birth could be Bolton, something like that. So that is how to create a table. Now we are going to move on to slide 4. You just click on slide 4 on the left-hand side. And then here we want to insert a video, probably, or we want to insert a picture on slide 4. So to insert a picture, again, you can use the elements in the middle here. Pictures, you select picture here, and then it will open up your folder to select where your picture is saved. let me see what picture I can bring onto it. So once you open, it opens your documents or pictures, and we want to select 2020 vision, that image right there. Now we have our picture selected. You can move your picture around wherever you want to move it. Let's say I want to move it to the right side. So you hold you left click, hold it down, and then use the other hand to move the image around the slide. So I want to place it right here. Yeah. Now on the top here, you can see the title box as well. Now I can move that title box around, and to do that again, you left click and hold it down and then move it around to wherever you want to place it. So in this case, I want to place it close to 2020 vision. I want it to be aligned on the same line, close to each other, like that. And then give it a title, creating my vision board, something like that. Again, you can change the size. You can format it, make it bold. You can underline it, something like that. And then on slide 5, you just keep populating. So slide 5, whatever you want to be there, click to add text. We are playing around this slide to imagine, to create a new goal for ourselves. Life is how you make it. Go to another line. Well, I'm not sure anybody said, I just made it up in my head, but I may want to say that is a quote by Aristotle. It's definitely not, but it's just something that I'm just making up. Like I said, you don't want to have too many texts on your slide. And it's a rule which helps with your presentation. You don't want to have too many things on your slide because it can distract your audience. Now we have our slide, and the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to delete slide 6. I think we have enough already, 5 slides already. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is how to design our slide, our PowerPoint slide. As you can see, this black and white thing, if you're visual like me, you want to, add some aesthetics, make sure the design is beautiful, attractive, not too distracting, but at least it's good to see. So what you can do to add your design is you go to the menu on top here and you see design. So click on that. PowerPoint already has some designs in here. Again, you can go to Microsoft website and choose and select other themes, other designs that you have. So these are the different ones. These are the different basic ones that you have right now on this PowerPoint. So just play around and look around and see which one you prefer. So as you can see right now, we have this design that we've selected. If you want to change the color scheme, on your right, on the top right here, you can select different color scheme of that design. So we have that orange, we have the purple, we have the black and green, which is really cool, Also, you want to bear in mind your audience. Your audience is important when you're selecting your design. For instance, if I was going to be presenting in the office or something, I will not choose this design. I'll probably choose something like this, something that is very, bare minimum, is not very like in your face, or I can select something like this for office presentation or any official presentation that I have to do. Just play around with it and you can choose whatever one you prefer. So I'm going to select this one. So we'll go with that one. Like, again, I am very visual, and the way things are arranged catches my interest, my attention. I don't like the way this is arranged. I don't like the fact that my how to create PowerPoint slide has, spilled into the second line. So again, just like I showed you earlier, I can either reduce the size of this, but of course you can see that I still have some space here, so I can drag this box and drag it to the side so that it put my title on a straight line. So my subtitle could be digital skills training. Again, I can decide I want to put some image. I can decide I want to put some shape in this. So to add shape, you go back to insert and then you go to shapes here. So if you click on the arrow there, you will see a straight line. You'll see a box. You can see oval shape. You can see rounded corner shape. So I'm just going to select straight. And then once you select shape, you hold down Control and Shift. Hold down Control and Shift, and then left click to draw the shape. Now the shape that I'm creating is under how to create PowerPoint slide, so that it separates my title from my subtitle. Now I've created that tiny line. Now I want to increase the size of that line. So you can either go to Shape Outline, Weight, and select a bigger one. Like I could select 1.5 points. Is not big enough. I want to increase that. So go back to weight, and then I want to select 4.5 points. As you can see, it's given me. I can change the color as well. Again, Shape Outline, and then change it to the color that you want. In this case, I want to change it to black. So I have how to create PowerPoint slide. That is the title. And then the subtitle is Digital Skills Training. So that is how to design your slide, okay? So you can move things around, format the title. In this case, I want to put bold. I can also decide I want to copy and paste this line that I created in the first slide and paste it in my other slide and move it under the objective just to make it look more attractive, something like that, just to distinguish between the title and the content, something like that. Just play around with it until you're satisfied with the way your slide looks. So the next thing we want to do is to add our transitions. Transitions is how the slide moves from one to the next. How smooth is the transition? I'm going to show you something here before we add a transition, how this looks like. To view your slide, you go to the menu and select Slideshow. Select from beginning, or you go to the bottom of the screen here where my cursor is, and you see something that looks like a TV, something like that. You see that is highlighting a slideshow. So you can either select that or go to the menu to select your slideshow. So if you click on that, this is what your slide will look like when you're presenting. This is what people will see when you're presenting. So move from this slide to the next slide. You Just click your cursor. It will go to the next slide. If you want to go back, click the back arrow button on your keyboard to go to the very first slide, okay? As you can see, the transition is not smooth, it is sharp, and I don't like that. Now, how do we change this transition to be smooth? To leave the presentation slide view, the slideshow view, just press Escape on your keyboard, and it will take you back to the normal view. Look at where my cursor is below the screen on the bottom left, on the bottom right. Look at where my cursor is on the bottom right of my screen. The first here where we've been working on is your working environment, which is the normal, it says normal view. And then here you see the slide sorter. Here you see the reading view, and here you see the slideshow. You want to click on slide sorter. Click on slide sorter, and it's going to bring all your slides together in one space so that you know what slide is what, where are they. And then what we want to do now is to select all these slides together. Make sure you want to select all. So to do that, select your first slide, then press down Shift key, hold it down. Don't remove your hand, just hold it down. Then go to the last slide. Go to your last slide and then click that without releasing your hand from the Shift key. Now you can see that is all selected. So whatever we do right here will affect all the slides at the same time. To change the transitions, then go to the menu, select transitions, and you will see different options of transitions here. You can play around with different ones to see how they work, but the one that I like to use, I just like to make it simple. I use fade. I just click on fade, this one. So what that does is it smoothens my presentation slides. When I'm moving from one slide to the next slide, the transition is smooth. You can choose wipe, you can choose split. If we view that on our slideshow, see what it looks like. That's slide 1. Slide 2, you can see how smooth the transition is. It is not sharp. Yeah, so let's go back to that. Again, I want to change the transition so that you can see the difference. So I'm going to undo what I've just done and then select all the slides again. Click on the first slide, Shift, click on the last slide, and select all. Let's see wipe. Let's see wipe and what it looks like. Again, just play around with it. So let's go and view that in our slideshow. So that is what it looks like. That is slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4. You can see that it's wiping the screen from the left to the right. So that is what that looks like. So we're going to undo that. I like to use fade, just like I explained earlier. So I'm going to do that and select fade. All right, so that is our transition done. We want to go back to normal, working environment. So click on normal to return back to the first slide. So the next thing we want to do is to add our animations to the slide. When you are presenting, sometimes you don't want everything on your screen to appear at the same time to everybody. You don't want them to see everything right here on your slide. You want the first one to appear first, talk about it, and then the next one comes up. To do that, you're going to select the first one. You will have to do it one after the other. You select the first one, which is how to open a new PowerPoint slide. You select that, and then click on animations on your menu. On the menu, click on animations again. Just like transitions, there are various options for you to choose from. For me, when I'm delivering any presentation, I don't like my PowerPoint slides to take away from the content that I'm delivering. So I like to keep it simple. It's okay to make your presentation slides dramatic and, doing all this drama and all that. But for me, I like to keep it simple. But of course, you can experiment with every of these options that you have. The first one here is all about entrance. The second one's here is about emphasis. The third one is about exit. And the last one here is motion paths. So we want to manually positions where it enters from, how it goes out, and things like that. For me, I just like to use either the fade or fly in or float. But when I am doing a presentation slides of photos, I can decide to select random so that it randomly does it for me. It just selects everything like, random bars. It just changes it, however. But if I am presenting text, anything official that I have to talk about, I just select fly in or fade. So let's select fly in so that you have an idea what it looks like. So fly in for the first one, and then you want to select the second one as well. Again, I'm going to select fly in. And for the third one, let's see if we can select something else. You know what? I'm just going to select fly in. Of course, you just have a play around it. It's just for you to see what I'm talking about. So let's view it and see what it looks like when we are presenting. So click on slideshow. As you can see, nothing is showing on your slide. It's only showing the title of your slide, and that is what you want to see. For instance, you may be presenting and you ask a question. You could ask a question, how many people live in the UK? Definitely you have your answer in your slide, but it's not showing yet because you don't want it to show yet. Otherwise, you're telling them the answer before asking the questions. So the title could be, how many people live in the UK? And right in your content, you have your answer, but you're waiting for them to respond before you then show your slide. So it just works that way. So you come to this point in your presentation, it shows objectives of our presentation, and then you click your mouse, and then the first one appears. As you can see, we selected fly in, so it just flew in. How to open a new PowerPoint slide. So you may want to talk about that for a few minutes, and then you want to go on to the next point. You press your mouse again to go to the next one, and then you press your mouse again to go to the last one, and then it goes to the next slide. All right, so let's escape and go back to our working environment. So that is how to add animations. I've shown you how to show your presentation slide, how to do your slideshow. And I've also shown you how to add your transitions, and I've shown you how to add your animations. In the picture here where you have the picture, this is where maybe you may want to add some dramatic entrance or something like that in your animation. So you may want to do like spin to create an emphasis on what you want people to see. Again, I like to keep it simple. That is what it will do. So if you view slideshow, that is what it's going to do on your slide before it goes to the next slide. All right, so that is how to use a PowerPoint slide. Just to also show you a point. When you are presenting, you don't want to have too much content on your slide, because there is a tendency for you to start reading your slide. You are presenting, you are not reading. You don't want to be a newscaster, because otherwise you're just going to look like a newscaster reading the news off your slide. You don't want to do that. You may want to have your points written down in a piece of paper that you hold in your hand, or you can have some cards, prompters where you put your notes. Of course, you may have you have to have prepared, know your content in and out. So it just shows your table of content, for instance, just shows a point that you want to talk about. For instance, it shows that point. Rather than having a list or several paragraphs on your slide, you want to talk about that point with your prompter in your hand. Another way you can actually have a prompter embedded in your presentation slide is to add a note on your presentation slide. And I'm going to show you how to do that. If you look below here, on the bottom left of your screen, you'll see something that says notes. When you click that, something will appear below your slide itself, which says click to add notes, just right here. Click to add notes. Whatever you want to talk about that is showing on your slide, you may then want to put all the details in here. You type in all the details in here. One other thing I wanted to add is before I start creating my presentation slides, I have all my content typed out in a Word document or something like that. So I just copy and paste. So I don't just start typing things on my presentation slide. I have everything that I want to present on a Word document, okay? I just copy and paste it. So in the note here, you can drag it up to see your notes. Can you see that? This is where your note is. So when you are presenting and you press slideshow, that is why you must always remember when you're presenting to press slideshow. You don't want people to see your notes on your slide screen, on your, when you're presenting. You don't want to leave your presentation like that, for people to see. This is not a presentation slide. This is just your working document. To present, you must click slideshow. You can either click it at the menu here and select from beginning or from current slide, or you go to the bottom right and select slideshow. And when you do that, nobody will see your note. They'll only see what you have on your screen. It is only you that can see your own note when you're presenting. So the note that we created here, for instance, we press slideshow. Can you see that note? No. It is only you that will be able to see that note when you're presenting, okay? So that is just to show you how to create your own presentation slides for presentation. So let me know if you have any questions. You know how to contact me. So do let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to go over it with you. Thank you very much, and have a nice time presenting and using your new skills. God bless you.